On Thursday night, massive news in the pro wrestling industry broke with it being announced that Okada is leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okada is the biggest star in New Japan and is departing the promotion when his contract expires at the end of January. He'll still be working 3 February New Japan Pro Wrestling show dates. After that, it's expected that he will end up signing with either WWE or AEW. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer confirmed that WWE and AEW have both made pitches for Okada. It's believed that AEW has made the stronger first offer, but no contract has been signed yet. Meltzer wrote that one person close to Okada says nothing has started yet, but seems both are gonna fight for him hard. He also wrote, as noted months ago, WWE was of the belief they had a strong shot at getting him, with the idea that they could convince him he had done all he could do in Japan, and because of the economic differences in wrestling, because sports rights fees just aren't close to the same level in Japan, the American scene is far more lucrative. Okada has made appearances for AEW before as part of AEW's working relationship with New Japan. He filed a trademark for Rainmaker back on January 12th. New Japan has also announced that a match between iconic rivals Okada and Hiroshi Tanahashi will take place at New Beginning in Osaka on Sunday, February 11th. We now have a better idea about Seth Rollins' status following his knee injury on WWE Raw. Fightful reports that Seth suffered a torn MCL and a partially torn meniscus while facing Jinder Mahal on Raw this past Monday. The injury happened during a spot where Seth hit a lion salt. He started favoring his knee after the move. Dave Meltzer had reported after Raw that Seth was scheduled to have an MRI done to determine the extent of his injury. While the timeline for when Rollins will be able to return to the ring isn't known, this type of injury would likely put his WrestleMania 40 status in question, but not rule out him competing at the event. Rollins retained his World Heavyweight Championship against Jinder Mahal at their match. WWE has been building towards Seth Rollins defending the title against CM Punk at WrestleMania. Elimination Chamber 2024 will officially have an early start time for viewers in the United States. On Friday, Triple H revealed the poster for Elimination Chamber. It lists that the premium live event will air on Peacock starting at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 a.m. Pacific on Saturday, February 24th. Elimination Chamber is taking place from Optus Stadium in Perth, Australia. Australia's native Rhea Ripley is featured on the poster. No matches have been announced for Elimination Chamber yet. WWE has confirmed that CM Punk and Logan Paul will be appearing on the show. And it doesn't look like undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns will be appearing at Elimination Chamber. Meltzer wrote last week that Reigns has never been advertised for Elimination Chamber, and there are no plans for him to be added to the show as of right now. Elimination Chamber will be WWE's last premium live event before WrestleMania 40. It follows the Royal Rumble, which is being held at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida on Saturday, January 27th. Some additional news from earlier in the week. Brock Lesnar is returning to WWE television after a 5-month absence. In Monday's Daily Update, Dave Meltzer reported that Lesnar will be back on WWE TV very soon, and elaborated on that on the Wrestling Observer Radio, noting that Brock is expected back at any time. If Lesnar is going to be in the Royal Rumble, he could return to WWE programming next week. Lesnar hasn't wrestled since his match against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam last August. Lesnar and Cody also worked a 3-match program that ended with Rhodes winning at SummerSlam. Rhodes won 2 matches during the feud, while Lesnar won once. After their SummerSlam match, Brock showed respect to Cody and shook his hand. Cora Jade will be out of action for some time. Shortly before a #1 Contenders Battle Royal for the NXT Women's title took place on Tuesday's show, announcers confirmed that Cora Jade had suffered an ACL tear at a house show this past Saturday. As a result, it was said that Cora would be out of action for close to a year. She suffered the injury while wrestling NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria in Dade City, Florida. Despite this, announcers credited the debuting Ren Sinclair as the one who defeated Jade in that match. replacing her in the Battle Royal. Sinclair is a former Maddie Rinkowski who has previously made appearances in NWA and AEW. Later on Tuesday, Jade posted a picture of her knee on social media, writing, "It is only after we've lost everything that we are free to do anything." Roxanne Perez ended up winning the Battle Royal on NXT, becoming the new #1 contender. She will face Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT Vengeance Day on February 4th in Clarksville, Tennessee. TNA Wrestling officially has another new addition to their Knockouts division, as they announced Wednesday that Ash by Elegance has signed a contract. Ash is the former Dana Brooke of WWE fame. Her first match in TNA will mark her first ever outside of WWE or NXT. Ash and an unnamed male assistant made their TNA on-screen debut at last Saturday's Hard to Kill, sitting in the crowd during the Knockouts title match between then-champion Trinity and Jordynne Grace. She didn't get involved in the match, nor was the basis of her new moniker revealed. She had been released by WWE in September 2023, while she was part of the NXT brand, ending a 10-year run with WWE that also began in NXT. During her decade on the main roster and NXT, she only held the 24/7 title. I spoke with Gail Kim, who had this to say about bringing in the former Dana Brooke. Talk to us about the process of bringing her in and just how you felt about that.
Listen, more than anything, I can identify with people coming out of another company and maybe feeling like they never got utilized to their fullest potential. And, that's how she felt. And I didn't know Ash before. And of course, it's a small world, the wrestling world, whether you know people or not. You feel like you know them, you know of them, people, there's always a connection. And so many people were telling me, she wants to work. She wants to do something, Generally, she could go, say, to AEW or something like that. And you just never know what's going to happen. At least I think we are known for at least pretty much when someone comes into our company, we're going to utilize them. I think that's a known fact, and people can just sit back and watch our product and see that. And also the Knockouts division is also, hey, we average 3 female matches on a pay-per-view. We pretty much use every single girl in that locker room. That's enticing to talent, right? And they want to be used, and and I've heard about her work ethic. She's really expressed, and every other person that worked with her vouched for her work ethic. I respect that. I like those people who are hungry and want it and want to add something to our division. And I think she's going to be a great addition. I think she's already made a splash. And now let's see what she's got in the ring and everything else. And I can't wait to see her new character and what she wants to bring to it. She's excited. So I think the fans are going to be pleasantly surprised, right?
And speaking of the former TNA Knockouts champion, Trinity, Gail Kim spoke about Trinity's growth in TNA Wrestling. Take a look.
I just can never give her enough props because of not only the performer that she is, but the human being that she is. She's never changed from the girl that I met in NXT. I worked with her, I think people forget, when she first came into WWE, because I was there on the main roster. And of course, everyone coming into the company is going to be all timid and nice. She's never changed from that person. If anything, she's only gotten better. It's a testament when you see her interact with the fans and how much they love her and all her loyal fans and the love that she gives back. So I'm talking about outside the ring right now, and to see her in the ring, listen, we already know she's a star, right? And to see her level up in the ring, because obviously we have a great division. We give the girls a lot of time. We feature them a lot, main events. She has killed it. And I think it just opened up this newfound confidence for her as well. And I remember her when she came into the company. I wasn't there, actually. I was doing Amazing Race at the time for her debut. I missed that. I had talked to her before. And then she had her first match with Kylan King, which was off the charts. And then to see this last match, obviously she didn't come out victorious, but that match, I think everyone was like, well, she even surprised me. That power bomb, I don't know. I was like, oh, okay, Trin, right? I knew she already had it, but she's showing that she can really go. And I think she was surprised when she first came into our company, the time that she was given. She was like, whoa, oh my gosh, right? And now she's a pro. She's just a pro. she can go anytime.
At this weekend's Hard to Kill event, we also saw a brand new champion be crowned after Moose defeated Alex Shelley to become champion. Here's what he had to say about that, because you are kicking off this rebrand, this brand new era of TNA Wrestling as the champion. I want to start off there. How do you feel coming off of Hard to Kill, which was such a big weekend for TNA Wrestling, so much buzz, and you were the guy at the end of it holding up that championship belt?
It feels great, and it's rare in people's careers when the second title reign is more memorable than the first one. Usually you ask most people, what's your most memorable title that you've won? And it's usually the first title they've ever won. But in this case, for me, is the second time, my second title run. And nothing against Josh. Josh is a great athlete, great professional. Probably one of the greatest out there, if not. But if you just look at the way I won it against Josh versus how I won it this past weekend, first of all, we was going into a rebrand where probably the biggest moment in TNA's history, from switching from Impact Wrestling back to TNA. Second of all, this was the biggest crowd we've performed in front of in the last 8 to 10 years. I think it was north of 2,000 people. And then I was in the main event of this our first ever pay-per-view of the rebrand. So and then winning it, I mean, it's like I said, it's rare that the second time is bigger than the first one. And for me, the second round was definitely more memorable and bigger than the first time I won the title. My confidence right now is shooting through the roof, and I think that is the difference between myself now and the first time I won it. I wasn't as confident. I mean, everybody know what I could do in the ring. Everybody know that I'm athletic. Everybody know all that stuff. But when you don't know it for yourself, and when you don't believe it as much, it doesn't matter how good you are, right? If it's not in here. And right now, my confidence is shooting through the roof right now. So it doesn't matter who's next. It doesn't matter who they put in front of me. It doesn't matter where on the card I am, if it's the main event, if it's starting the show. None of that stuff matters, because I know I'm going to knock it out the park. I don't feel pressure at all. I've been a champion before. I know what it takes to be a champion. I know what it takes to hold the title for a long period of time. I mean, I know Josh is number 1 for the longest reign, and Shelley's number 3. I think I'm number 5 on the list. So I know I know exactly what needs to be done to have a main event match, or to have a title main event match. So and with the knowledge I know now from even from the guy that I wrestled, Alex Shelley, he had a great title reign, and I'm a student of the game, and I watch everything. I study everything, and I studied his reign, and I saw how he did things. And and to be honest, I'm going to steal a little bit of some of the psychology and some of the structure of how he did things, and that's going to make my run even better, because I think that's what helps my confidence out, because of some of the people who I've watched. Like, I watched Josh do what Josh did, and I'm gonna steal some of the things he did while he was champion, and some of the things Shelley did while he was champion, and that's gonna make my run even much better.
Following Moose's victory, he was confronted by Nick Nemeth, who made his debut for the company. Here's what Moose had to say about what took place. But here's the thing, afterwards we had this big momentous moment where you were confronted by none other than Nick Nemeth, who was making his TNA Wrestling debut. I want to get your thoughts on Nick Nemeth coming into the company.
Even though he took me out, which I'm gonna get mine back when the time is right. But let's leave that alone. But talk about Nick coming to the company, I think it's huge for TNA. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of his. He's a superstar. I mean, he's done everything in professional wrestling. He's been a world champion. He's been a tag team guy. He's won every single title you could think about. He's had it. He's been all over the world. He has a huge buzz going right now, and for him to pick TNA over AEW and New Japan or any other company he's working, that shows that TNA is a hot spot right now, right? So I'm happy he's part of the team. I'm happy I get to do something down the road with him. And I'm happy that TNA is starting to be a spot where people want to come to. Same thing with Ash by Elegance. Her picking us over other companies out there. I'm happy she's part of the team, and I can't wait to see what the future brings with Nick and Ash.
That's a wrap for this episode of The Latest. As always, thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to give this video a like and subscribe to F4W Online for plenty more content.